Well. We finally have a little bit of noise in what's been a pretty quiet offseason so far for a team that's future hangs in the balance here in the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be a spicy offseason, and now we're getting some news straight from Jerry Jones's mouth. We'll get into that in a moment, but first, consider hitting like or subscribe, and if you're feeling frisky, ring the bell. That way you're always notified when I post a new video. Today's video brought to you by my friends at betonline.ag. BetOnline.ag, your online sportsbook experts. So here we are at the end of January and into February, and Dak Prescott still remains unsigned. And really, not a peep from either side. Until Monday, when David Moore of the Dallas Morning News wrote a little article. It suggests there's now a 6 to 8 week time frame to get a deal done. Otherwise, they're not going to get a deal done. So we know that David Moore is very close with Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. And we know that Jerry Jones likes to read the newspaper. And that he likes to then supply information and negotiate through the media with the guy that writes the articles that he likes to read in the newspaper, David Moore. So when we hear about a fake, not real, actual deadline here, 6 to 8 weeks, otherwise this thing's got to be done, what we know is that Jerry Jones is applying pressure or trying to apply pressure in negotiations to Dak Prescott, which is a tactic that hasn't yet worked. And it didn't work with Zeke Elliott, it didn't work with DeMarcus, and it hasn't worked with Dak Prescott. The Cowboys in recent history are proving to be really bad negotiators. And in the case of Zeke Elliott, I was actually excited about it because I thought they're applying pressure to Zeke. They're probably not going to sign him long term. Probably not a good deal to be signing running backs to a long-term deal. Good job, Cowboys. But what do? They acquiesced. They gave in. And now they're rethinking a deal that, for Zeke Elliott, is going to guarantee him a ton of money over the next few years as his play deteriorates. All while not prioritizing signing their franchise quarterback. Now look, if you're watching this right now thinking, well, savvy move by the Cowboys. Maybe Dak isn't their guy. Maybe they should be looking somewhere else. Maybe they shouldn't be paying him the kind of money that Dak Prescott wants. I appreciate your opinion. I appreciate your sentiment. There are probably between 15 and 18 NFL teams this offseason that are going to be looking for a quarterback. The market for quarterbacks is ungodly. But we have to recognize something that's really important here. You can't look at any number and say $40 million a year for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's not worth that money. It doesn't really matter how much you think Dak Prescott's worth, because you might think Dak Prescott's worth $10 million, and you'd be crazy because Taysom Hill makes $16 million and Teddy Bridgewater makes $21 million a year. You think Dak Prescott's not as good as those quarterbacks? You may want to watch more of those quarterbacks and less of Dak Prescott. Here's what ticks me off about this discussion and negotiation. It doesn't seem like the Cowboys have any grasp of reality when it comes to their quarterback situation and, more importantly, the quarterback market. They messed around and put themselves in a situation where they had to place the franchise tag on Dak last year. If they do that again and have the same approach this year, they're going to be looking at a franchise quarterback walking out the door. And then the Cowboys are left with their pants down trying to sell their franchise on a team that's not even close to winning a Super Bowl, that it's close to winning a Super Bowl. The bottom line here is we could sit here and argue over where Dak Prescott is in the quarterback hierarchy throughout the NFL, and none of it matters where you think he is, where I think he is, where anybody else thinks he is. You can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. You can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott as your quarterback. And so at the end of the day, why would you take a chance on a guy that you don't know, or a future that you don't know, versus the guy that you do know is capable of leading you to where you want to go? Why would you take any chances on that? Especially given you are a couple of moves away on defense with a good defensive draft from getting there. A place you haven't been in nearly 3 decades. Tom Brady got to the NFC title in 1 year. Cowboys haven't been there since their last Super Bowl. So why would you hit abort now? And look, I get the idea of letting negotiations play out. The problem is the Cowboys don't exactly have great credibility when it comes to that. Again, go back to the Zeke Elliott negotiations, where they had him hold out for training camp and had it back and forth and weren't going to pay him, and then gave in anyways to everything that he wanted. Same with DeMarcus. So you have a track record recently that suggests you're taking deals to the finish line and then getting them done without winning anything in negotiations. And here you are again, playing the same game of chicken with the most important position and a franchise quarterback staring you square in the face. Every year, Jerry walks out there and tells you why this team's going to win a Super Bowl. He's a regular P.T. Barnum. I think it's about time we recognize the Cowboys have made many mistakes under that guise. Let's hope this one isn't the latest. All right, that's all I've got for you today. But of course, make sure to hit subscribe and ring the bell. That way you're always notified when I post a video on the crazy offseason that is underway now for the Dallas Cowboys. Make sure you're in the know with everything going on throughout by hitting subscribe and ringing the bell. Today's video brought to you by betonline.ag. Betonline.ag is your online sportsbook experts.